Alright, everyone, welcome. It's been a little while since I've posted up a video in relation to any cars or anything in my life. So there's been a lot of things that have recently happened since last year, right around November, which was the last video that I put up. And it was basically saying goodbye to the Civic. As you can see, I still have the Civic, and I've had a lot of things happen over Christmas, over Thanksgiving, and the holidays to where I kind of took a step back. I needed a big reset going into 2021. In the beginning of October, I actually opened up my own fabrication business, Monkey Fab. And I have a welder, I have a big old bandsaw, a CNC router, and I've been testing and doing a bunch of product testing right now at the moment. I have some products, but they'll be coming out soon. Right now, the main focus is getting the Civic back on the road, and there's going to be a couple people helping me out with this project. Of course, I have the dogs. Here's Apollo right now. But right now, I have no motor. The trans is out of the car right now, and it's about to get shipped to Tall Pines in South Carolina to get rebuilt and inspected. The car, as you can see, is not together. There's a lot of things that need to be added into the car. Previously, at the end of the year, when it got really cold, I decided to pick up a chill-out system. Chill-out decided to sponsor me with some sponsorship along the way, and I'm doing a lot of their events. The chill-out shirts, I have 2 or 3 of them upstairs. So if you ever want to ride, you can more than gladly come out and try out my chill-out system. The Civic right now, in the state that it's in, the suspension needs to be pulled off, all the wheels and hubs need to be pulled off, wheel bearings need to be replaced, the car is going to get repainted. I've only told a certain few amount of people what it's going to get repainted, but it is going to get completely repainted. There's a lot of paint chipping and flaking from the amount of years that it's just been abused. And look, it's red originally, where you can see it wasn't really scuffed. Then it got painted slaughtermelon green, which if I can find any pictures, I'll put them up. Then it had if I'm not mistaken, after the slaughtermelon green, it turned into a Marlboro Civic without a wide body. Then it turned into the Rocket Bunny wide body Marlboro. Then it turned into the Rocket Bunny Golf Livery Civic. And then it became was going to be a Lotus inspired Civic. But then that's when the project kind of got put on hold by Bryson, and I ended up picking up the project. So I ended up running the car at 3 events last year. I did 2 Road Atlantas and 1 AMP. Yes, 2 Road Atlantas and 1 AMP. And after the third event at Road Atlanta, I was driving on the highway, went to do a pull, and as soon as I let off, my temperature shot up and I started blowing white smoke. So immediately it pulled over and the temperatures kept creeping, and when I let it cool off, tried to start it back up, it immediately creeped again. So at that point I knew that something internally had broken, called a buddy, and he actually had me pulled home because we couldn't get a tow at the moment. So he basically just strapped it to the front. I didn't have a bumper, and we just tied it all the way home. Motor came out. Turns out I actually cracked the cylinder in cylinder 2 all the way down to the bottom. Unfortunately, it could have been years of abuse, and it also could have been how this block was machined and also how the cylinder support system was installed. It is what it is. I don't care. The car survived 5 years of abuse, and then me actually beating the shit out of it for 3 months. So I'm happy. I'm really honestly happy. I've picked up 2 spare motors. I have both of them dropping off. I have one at a machine shop right now. I'm dropping off another one tomorrow at another machine shop to get it done as well. And really trying to find a third, just so that I don't have this ever happen again, to where if I'm at an event, I have a spare motor, I can throw it in, and we can just get back on the track. And I'm not having downtime like I have had this off season. The car is probably gonna get rotisseried if I can find a rotisserie. If not, it's not that big of a deal because of how small and light it is. All the windows come out. The front window is probably going to stay in because it's still in good condition. If I can find a cheap one, I'll replace it. I just don't really care for that right now. The doors are completely stripped. I don't know if you've ever seen the interiors of these doors, but they're completely gutted from the inside. And I plan on keeping them like that, but it's all going to get repainted to match one color so that it just doesn't look like a project anymore. I really want to do the season where it actually looks good. The brakes on the car are 6-pot Willwood caliper system. Also floating rotors in the front. The rears are, I was thinking I still run factory rears. You don't need brakes in an EG Civic. I run 17 by 10s on 245 40 17s, RS4s. The car did really well with the Wire PDM system this year. I was actually really happy. There's a couple things that after a full season of testing, I really want to just change up, move the switch panel, move the PDM controller itself, redo some of the battery and power wiring, put my isolator somewhere else. It's kind of just, it was a trial and error, right? I mean, I've worked on this car for the last almost 8 years. I've known the car back and front for the last 20 years because it's a Civic, and I've gotten really good at them. I want to redo the steering column. I want to add assisted steering just to make my life a little bit easier and really revamp the car. There's questions as an all-wheel drive swap right now. I do have access to a trans and a transfer case. So really the big thing holding me back on an all-wheel drive swap is the rear end. Wago van rear ends are impossible to find, and if you find them, they're $2,500, and I'd rather put that into a sequential. So right now at the moment the car is just sitting. I'll have the hopefully motor back in about a month or so. I'm not in a rush for it. I have a lot of other things going on. The fabricational side of the business, I do plan on promoting splitters, a lot of aero parts, and I'll also have 3D modeling of your cars where we can actually add a couple features and do a couple other additional things to the car. Other than that, I'd like to thank the people that have come aboard and helped me out a lot throughout this whole last year. Competition Clutch, they got me a twin disc that I was able to put power to the ground. Moni at Moni Tuning, he did the tuning on the car the entire season and got it running from day one. Chill Out Systems for jumping aboard, they've been a really big help. Let's see, Tyler over at Profab, he's been a really big help as well lately too. GMG Automotive, he's been a big help with letting me access to his shop and letting me access to his tire machines whenever I've had issues with alignments and everything else. Speaking of alignments, Van over at Eurofed Automotive, I love you, thank you for all the help. And especially my brother. My brother secretly, people don't know, he's one of the big backers of this. He's helped me since day one. He unfortunately hasn't been able to drive it because he's not used to the clutch, but I do plan on doing some things to that this year, probably adding a dampener and also some other things to be able to get him to fit in the seat because he's a little bit bigger than me and I have a skinny seat in the driver's side. But other than that, I'm really looking forward to the 2021 season, also running with Jay Zilla, and also possibly doing hopefully the Grid Life series if I can get the car back together in time. But I'm honestly not going to push it. I'd rather just do local events again one more year, and next season I'll start traveling a lot more. But stay tuned for more. I will explain more in depth. If anyone has any questions, please go ahead and ask at the bottom. Comment, like, subscribe. Yeah, I will probably be down in Savannah at the end of the month for an event. So if you're in the Savannah area, hit me up. Let's do something. It'll be a lot of fun. Also, I'll be doing hopefully a track day on motorcycles at the end of the month as well at Jennings. I need to actually sign up for that real quick and finish the race bike, which is on the other side of the Civic, but that's another day for another video. But thanks a lot. Stay tuned, and woo! I'd like to give a big major shout out, especially to Dustin Miles at Miles Style Racing. This car wouldn't have been possible, honestly, if it wasn't for him. the amount of help that he gave me last year, whether it was helping me get the car home, take it to the track, bring it back from the track after it first originally grenaded at Road Atlanta. Being here some nights, helping me out, helping me figure out a lot of wiring issues when I originally had the wiring issues. I really want to say thank you a lot, Dustin. You've been a great help, and I appreciate everything, man. Thank you.